What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and we are back. I'm joined with my beautiful co-host, Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And we're back another Football Friday here on MVP Sports Live, where we talk about all the happenings in the sports world. Like I said, Football Friday is where we talk about fantasy football. We make our picks for NFL Week 5. We've got, Dave, a Tuesday night game this week. We've got 2 Monday night games this week. Who knows if the Jets...
have some more moves. Yeah. We don't know quite yet.
Who knows if the Jets will have a game this week, as they didn't practice today or were told to leave the facilities today.
If the Jets don't have a game, I don't have a starting quarterback and a running back now. Because I got the Cardinals.
Yeah. And which, hey, you might have to go ahead and pick up some of the guys we're going to talk about, because we're going to talk about some quarterback replacements as Aaron Rodgers is on the bye this week. But
I need some fucking flex room on my bench. I ain't dropping shit.
Before we get into everything, though, quick housekeeping. Discord, join it down below. Link in the description or exclamation Discord into Twitch chat. Make sure you join that great community, great conversations happening every day. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you do that. Thank you to our Patreon sponsors, Pat Hill and Philly Sean. You can also throw us a sub on Twitch. We are live every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids. But we are also on YouTube at MVP Sports as well. And Dave, let's get into everything. Talking fantasy football to start. Then we're going to go into the Wet Boys. Then it's NFL picks and previews, which it's a typical Football Friday for us. And the first thing fantasy-wise we're looking at...
Can I say this before we even get started?
Go ahead.
There's basketball going on.
There is basketball going on. I mean, there's a preview
it could be the
tonight.
Last game of the finals.
We talked about it, though, after the last game.
I'm just saying...
Did your thoughts change?
They're wearing the Mamba jerseys tonight, so my thoughts did change a little.
Okay.
Like
Go
LeBron,
Bulls. I agree with Chainsaw. Go Bulls.
They pulled the card. They're like, hey, game 5, Mamba jerseys. Game 7, Mamba jersey.
They're not going to do it game 6?
Game 6, Heat have black. So
see, if I was the Heat, I would let the Lakers have the Mamba jerseys every game. You know what I'm saying? Like, just in case, like,
yeah.
Like, I would go, even though the Heat are at home, what I would maybe say is, hey, you guys can go black jerseys for game 6. We'll go with the red jerseys. Oh, they go Miami Vice jerseys.
Like, why not?
Could you imagine the fucking Vice jerseys against the that would be the greatest matchup ever. Mamba jerseys versus the Vice jerseys.
Chainsaw Chief care less about these finals. I mean,
I feel like everyone's like
okay.
that. No, I feel like everyone's like that.
Here's his favorite team, and that's it.
Well, okay.
I get that.
I will ask you this, Dave. Actually, audible topic before we start Football Friday is I was looking on Twitter. And there was one of the guys that I follow. I got to pull up on my phone because it's not the MVP account. It's my account that follows him. The only reason I know him is at the time he was the editor of the Jazz fan-sided site when I wrote for them. And he had a tweet that was basically along the same lines of like, it's funny how it's funny how the ratings are down for this finals, but it's like interesting how ratings are down for like all of sports.
Yeah.
And like it added in an interesting just thought of like, why is that? Is it because like some replies were like, well, like exactly what Chainsaw said, my team's not in the finals, so I don't have an interest of who wins and who loses. Is it something like they've never had to compete with the MLB, the NFL, and other sports around this time because they're usually happening in June? And then the point that I feel like this might be the biggest one, not just the pandemic, to where it's like maybe people are like, well, I can't pay for shit. I'm cutting cable. Like, I just can't pay for shit right now, so I'm going to cut that. Or the other thing of like, you know what, maybe people focusing a little bit on politics right now because of everything that's going on with going into the election in November. It was just an interesting thought of, I don't think you can pinpoint one thing, but I think it's because of a lot of things going on right now. Maybe that's why the viewership is down, because Silver talked about it a little bit.
I think that there's more viewership now than ever. I think the way it's being tracked just doesn't show that. That's the problem.
Because
Nielsen ratings are based off of cable
TV.
subscriptions. Like, that's what it is. Guess what? People don't fucking want cable subscriptions anymore.
Yeah.
People stream everything. People go to legal sites. People go to illegal sites. It's just, I feel more people are watching than ever, but it doesn't show because of that. So
the only reason I look at that and I go, is because of all the responses of, like, when I look at replies of tweets, more so it's people saying, I don't care, I don't give a crap, I ain't watching, blah, blah, blah. One of the things that was put out there by Clint was basically, he goes, I don't think it's a wokeness thing. I don't think that people are not watching because of the NBA being woke. That it's just like, even JD said in chat, I'm not going to lie, not watching. I don't want to watch the Lakers win. Like I said, I just think it's a lot of things of X amount of people might be watching or might not be watching because of different things going on. But yeah, I hope the Heat win tonight. Heat are my pick tonight because I'm going with my heart, Dave. My mind's telling me no, but my body and my heart, Dave, they're telling me yes. But let's get into the football stuff. We'll talk about Thursday night football during Wet Boys, because both you and I have players from that Thursday night game. Sure. And let's talk about fantasy football first. The first guy we're looking at, we're zeroing in on one guy, Dave, because a lot of people are trying to ask the question: is OBJ?
We talked about this already.
Did we?
Because deja vu.
I mean, we talked about the Browns and the Cowboys. We talked about him on Monday, but fantasy-wise...
We talked about OBJ on Monday.
Yeah, we talked about him on Monday, but from a fantasy's perspective, is he back? Because play on the field, he had a great game. He had a 40-point game in NFL in our NFL league this week, his highest game of yet. However, he had a 5-point game week 1, a 9-point game week 3, 17-point game week 2, going up against Indy this week, which is a top 9 defense against wide receivers. Are you confident enough, Dave, to say fantasy-wise, is OBJ back? Or are you still looking at, it's like, you know what, if he's playing a matchup against a team in that top 10, I ain't about not starting him.
No, he's a wide receiver 1.
Okay.
He's going to get you 15 points. That's the baseline. I feel like there's no way I'm not starting him. They clearly made a mission out of, we're going to get the ball in his hands as many ways as possible last week because of how that team was running.
Yeah.
And now, without having their number 1 running back, you think they're going to air the ball out a little bit more? You think maybe they'll do some more sweeps with him coming around the end?
Those end
I
arounds.
think they're going to continue with that creativity. I think the ball in Odell's hands is how they score points. That's how the offense is most productive. And I think that's how you keep defenders, with their, on their toes kind of a situation. They can't lean back and just fade into coverage because you don't know what Odell could be doing out there. So I have no qualms with this. I think Odell is a wide receiver 1. I think week 1 just sucked for him. After that, he's been fine. No issues.
Yeah, for me, it's one of those where is he, like, I agree with what you're saying. He is a wide receiver 1. To me, though, it's more of what does the team have to work with? And if it's a tough matchup, like, for example, Washington is a team, fantasy-wise, that is ranked top 5 against wide receivers. They're actually the second toughest defense. The Colts team that he's going up against this week, they're a tough team against wide receivers. The only other team that is technically a top 10 is
wide receivers
Jacksonville.
Have the Colts played?
Have the Colts played? They played the Bears. They've played Jacksonville. I'm trying to think of their other 2 games in the middle. Let's see the Colts games really quick. I've got the NFL slate in front of me. Come on.
The Vikings and the Jets. So they played 3 teams who have abysmal quarterback play.
But here's the thing, and this
that's the thing.
This is what I was.
Are great, but you have to understand the circumstances around the stats.
And what I was going to get into though is OBJ. Like, my confidence in OBJ isn't necessarily about OBJ. It's about who's got thrown him the ball to. Like Baker Mayfield. Is this a game where against those defenses that are in fantasy tough against wide receivers. You could say the Colts haven't played any wide receivers that have been necessarily on the level of OBJ. What level, though, do you put Baker Mayfield in then? Because the quarterbacks that the
Baker
Colts
Mayfield
have
better
played,
than Gardner Minshew?
I mean, this season,
Yes.
no. I think Minshew's better this season.
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Statistically, it's Mayfield, and win-loss, it's Mayfield.
I mean, win-loss is in football. It's a team thing. Like,
Sure,
it's not
fine.
one thing. Like in basketball, I would say okay.
And just on the field, like what can this guy do for me? Like outside of Gardner Minshew's, like he had 2 good games, 2 bad games. Baker Mayfield, 3 good games, 1 bad game.
I like Sam Darnold's off
there.
on his own. He's obviously worse than Mayfield. Big Dick Nick, like I know that was a game though. That was his first start with the
no
Bears with no prep.
Because it was a Sunday into a Thursday, and they had literally a day and a half of practice.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about the Colts game. The Colts game was his first one. He had a Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wasn't that his first official start?
Yeah, but it was Sunday into Sunday. This week was the Sunday into Thursday.
Yeah, you're right.
Which, yet again, we'll talk about that. He didn't have that bad of a game. But, I mean, to me, it's just one of those where I think this matchup, first off, don't expect 40 points from Odell this week.
No.
Like, that was
no one's ever expect 40 points fantasy from anyone.
It's just...
you have to have a special problem if you expect that 40 points weekly out of any player who is not like the 2011 LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah. I mean, the thing for me is, and this is going to hinge on his fantasy performance.
Sure.
Do you think Odell's going to get in the end zone? Because the week 1, I'm taking that. I'm throwing it out the door. Week 1, no preseason, playing the Ravens. Okay, I get it. But you look at the other games. The Bengals, he had 6 targets. The Washington football team, 6 targets. 8 targets against Dallas. If he has 6 targets, if he catches 4 of those, 4 and 5 is what he's averaging. The only difference between 2 of those games is in 2 of them he had touchdowns. In 1 of them he didn't. So for me, it comes down to with that Colts defense, yet again, Dave, you mentioned it. They have played people that might not be on the level of OBJ. I would say, depending on who you have, he's a wide receiver 1 on most teams. But if you're in like a 10-man league and somehow your team is stacked because people were afraid of OBJ, because I could see where people are like, I ain't drafting anybody on those Browns unless it's Nick Chubb. If you have other options like running back wise, if you have Oster, who might be coming back this week, who's definitely a start.
Flex over OBJ.
Everything I'm seeing is that Oster is a must start. Is like Matthew Berry, Yahoo, NFL, all of them are like, if he's good to go on Sunday, he's instantly in your lineup, which puts me at a situation. I don't have OBJ, but at my point, I then have to sit Keenan Allen in our MVP league because it comes down to my choice of Mostert comes into the flex. Who do I bench, CeeDee Lamb or Keenan Allen?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like I like what CeeDee Lamb has been doing. But OBJ, I would say, start this week, although I will put it with the caveat of this might not be a game where there's a lot of points scored like we thought there would be against Rivers and Big Dick Nick. And it was a 19 to 10 or 19 to 11 kind of game from the Bears and the Colts. So, like, this one might not be as big of a scoring game as people think it is. But moving on to the next one, Dave, is looking to a different wide receiver. We've talked about, like, this is one where last week we did kind of the should people pick him up because of the game he had against the Titans the week prior. Well, this week he had another 14-game performance in NFL, and now it comes down to the decision, Dave, of the Vikings play 2 teams in their next 2 weeks that are favorable against wide receivers. Is it finally time for owners to say, you know what? I've seen what Justin Jefferson can do. I'm going to now start him after his performance against the Houston Texans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I honestly was thinking after watching what he did against Tennessee, like, Houston was an awful defense in the secondary. Seattle, bad secondary. Atlanta, bad secondary. So yeah, he's absolutely starter. He's a good wide receiver too with good upside. So he's provided a lot of good help for Thielen out there. I think they help each other as far as who's pulling coverage in that secondary, but he's getting targets. So you got to roll with him.
The only thing I wonder is like, and of course, how the game goes is going to judge this. Is I say first off, to answer the question, yes, start him especially the next 2 weeks after the bye. Maybe play it a little bit by ear because after that they've got Chicago, which is tough against wide receivers, Carolina, Jacksonville, Green Bay right out of the bye, where I know that was
shut down the corner.
That was week 1 for him. So like we've said with a lot of these players, we're kind of taking week 1,
especially as a rookie. Like he was completely out of place and underused.
Yeah, and he was only targeted 3 times in like the first 2 games. He was only targeted 3 times getting into that offense. Yeah, but you got to
strike now with Justin Jefferson. Put him in, bump him up, and then if you want to sell high on his bye week.
Yeah, I mean for me, it's just yet again with like it's the OBJ question, Dave. Is he gonna get a touchdown?
I don't think he's dependent on that.
Like
he eats yards, man.
But
he's different. OBJ is like big showtime catch, but he needs a touchdown. Justin Jefferson eats yards.
For OBJ, it's if OBJ gets a touchdown, boom, he's in the 15 point. Like that's his base. If he doesn't, it's more of like 8 or 9 points for me. Where you're right, Justin Jefferson is. If he doesn't get a touchdown, he's still worth at least 10 or 11 points. It's just the fact of, to me, it's like in this case, where it makes him a little different is if he does get that touchdown, then you're looking at like, shit, I got 17 to 20 points, depending on how many catches he gets, if you're in PPR, non-PPR. But like you said, he eats up yards. 2 straight weeks of 175 yards and then 103 yards. I say go ahead and start him. And then Dave, the big one, this is what I thought would be the biggest discussion from the fantasy side. I'll let you take this one away because if that Jet game gets moved, Dave, you might be in this category.
Yeah, I already know who I'm picking up.
For people who might not or who may need a quarterback if the Jets don't play and you have Kyler Murray. I was in this boat. I already in both my leagues with this guy. I've picked up my quarterback and I've said I'm good to go starting this guy. Who's some quarterbacks people could look at to replace like Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, and potentially Kyler Murray?
I think number one you got to look at is Ben Roethlisberger, only rostering about 60% of leagues on NFL.com, playing against the dismal.
Yep.
Absolutely abysmal.
I was gonna say, who's he playing, Dave? Who's he playing?
Fucking Eagle. He is going to dumpster said Eagles. For people who think this is going to be close, I laugh at you.
Yeah. Could be a tie.
So yeah. Big Ben, definitely number one on the pickup list, available in a lot of percentage of leagues out there. I like my boy Air Bear, number 2, Justin Herbert, available in, I want to say like 70% of leagues or 60% of leagues in NFL. I have to click the button. He's only rostering 34.4. So yeah, right on that number, 65% of leagues out there. He's available on NFL Network. He is awesome. He is slinging it. They've announced him as the official quarterback. And he has got confidence to him. So I like the swagger. I love everything he does out there. Those are my 2 big boys to pick up. I think you steer clear of Wentz. I think you steer clear of Carr. I know those guys have tough matchups this week. Even though they're known names, it's just I'm not touching that shit.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, if you are a wild card, roll the dice, bitches move, like that's your guy. I wouldn't do it, but there's a chance he could just do it.
Dolphins playing the 49ers, who, yes, they're getting healthier, but yet again, there's some injuries on that defense that maybe Fitzpatrick could exploit a little bit.
And of course, best or worst case scenario, Jimmy G's potentially out there too.
Yeah, he could come back. I'm glad that you mentioned guys, Dave, that I was not going to mention because there's one guy out there.
Starting. What? Jimmy G is announced.
So he has been announced to be the starter. There's one guy, Dave, that you did not mention that in both of my leagues, I'm in 3 leagues this year. 2 of them, I've got Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback. So I'm like, fucking shit. I got to find a quarterback to replace the MVP of this league, or my MVP so far. for this year. This is a guy that I feel he's only rostered in 38.5% of NFL leagues, Dave. He is the 18th ranked quarterback in fantasy. He is going up against the Atlanta Falcons this week. He's coming off a 26-point game against the Cardinals, but his highest game is 19 from week 1 against the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Teddy Two Gloves, baby. Teddy Bridge over troubled waters. This is the guy you go with. He's got a good matchup against a Falcons team that loves to give up yards. They love to give up points. This is something where I could expect a big game from Teddy Bridgewater. I could expect a big game from Robbie Anderson. Hell, we could even see Mike Davis, the triple threat of Davis, Anderson, and Bridgewater, getting good fantasy points this week to where you're like, you know what, Aaron? I didn't need you this week. I got Teddy. Like, he is the guy that I look at, and I'm like, a prime matchup. The other guy, Dave, and this is one where I say no.
Yep.
But I know this has been your guy. I have seen some places like ESPN and Matthew Berry ask the question if it is time, and it's only because he's playing the Dallas Cowboys. Is it time to start Danny Dimes in fantasy? Because the Giants going up against the Dallas Cowboys, who haven't been that good against quarterbacks. However, you look at Danny Dimes, he had 17 points week 1 against the Steelers, and since then, 7, 8, and 10 against the Bears, Niners, and Rams.
No, like why would people do that? There are so many better, like you have to be in a 20-person league for Danny Dimes to be starter worthy.
I think the reason people are asking it is because of the matchup with the
the Cowboys. Less about the matchup.
Okay.
I understand the Cowboys' defense is bad, but there are literally like 20 better quarterbacks to start this week. It's just I've seen nothing out of him that says he's a safe pick for a quarterback in the NFL right now. Like I love him as a franchise guy long term. I think he's got upside. I like a lot of stuff about him, but I'm not picking him up in fantasy. I just said Air Bear. Air Bear has less fucking roster than he does. Now, who would you rather have, Air Bear or Danny Dimes?
Oh, I would take Air. Like to me personally, and this is also a little bit of bias against Danny Dimes. He's not even on my radar. Like I wouldn't even think about picking him up. Just because, like in fantasy, even he could be going up against fucking grandparents on the other side. Like he could go up against senior citizens, and I'd still pick the senior citizens.
No offense. You can't start him.
Yeah, like even Ryan Tannehill, who's only like 45% of leagues, he's going up against Buffalo, who, yeah, it's not the worst matchup, but it's not the best one. But yeah, Dave, like you said, Corona as well. It's like what players are going to play? How's that team even going to?
Are they going to play?
To look out there, yeah, good point. I mean, they had no positive tests today. I think they need 2 days?
Not a positive test.
They need 2 days. Was it 2 days or 3 days? I think it's 2 days. They said of no positive cases. So we're going to have to see tomorrow how they do. I think that's the game that's scheduled for Tuesday on the schedule. But Dave, like you said, they might not even play because of COVID. Let's move. Oh, before I move on, JD has a question. Derek Carr.
In case he's got a low-key good defense.
Yeah.
Like when they want, they can get ahead and then pin their ears back and just send guys at the quarterback. And they've got a couple playmakers in that secondary. Someone I like a lot out there, but he is a short pass king.
Yeah, I would say no.
How's the health of his receiving core right now?
I mean, there's a lot like Ruggs is mainly the top one that people are going to look at. But like for me, I look at
Waller. I know because Ruggs was banged up.
Waller, Ruggs also on the wide receiver side. He a little banged up, but like for me, I look at this game and I go, the thing with Waller is like you can't. There's not enough tight ends to be like, yeah, that guy can fucking start for me.
Really?
To where it's like if you've got.
You seen his stat line?
No. I'm saying like no. I'm not saying Waller, Dave. I'm saying like if you're afraid of a matchup, like Waller going against a team that's not good against the tight end. There's not enough tight ends behind him to say, I can start this guy because I don't like the matchup. No, like Waller is a lock in Like, you don't move him.
He's the number one target on their offense and getting 10 targets a game. Like, I would never not start him. He's a must start.
I think with Derek Carr, it's like I see like a 13, and I see like 13 to 15 points in this game, which you may look at that and go, you know what, I can 13 to 15 is fine. I think there's better options out there. Like Teddy Bridgewater, I think is in the higher teens, maybe even the low 20s. Like Dave mentioned, I think Big Ben is going to have a day against the Eagles to where I would go ahead and pick even those two guys before a Derek Carr.
The only upside is that if they are behind early, he will be throwing the ball a lot.
And that's the only positive, though, is if they're behind, he's going to be throwing
44 times. Because, again, they were down early to the Bills.
Yeah.
Renfro had 5 catches. Aguilar had 4. Zay Jones 4.
Yeah.
And then a smattering of everybody else with 2. Obviously, Waller up there at 9. But, I mean, he could be a trash time king. But I would still think there are at least 4 other guys who I would rather have on the team next week.
Yeah,
this week.
I would steer clear of them. If you're in a, like you said, a 16, 20-person league and you absolutely need someone,
16 league, go for Carr. That's fine. But I've got definitely a lot of available names out there.
Wide receivers and even like wide receivers. I won't throw Josh Jacobs in there because of the type of talent he is. But like wide receivers for the Oakland, I wouldn't touch them this week. But like if you're in a deep enough league and Derek Carr's like the only option, I think that could work because Dave, you make a good point of what I was thinking of. If they're behind, trash time king. Before we move on into our picks, Dave, let's do a segment we love to do. The dampest of dudes, the soggiest of shooters, the moistest of men. These are our wet boys. They also could be the mistiest of misses in some cases. This is where Dave and I, we pick wet boys. Dave picks one, I pick one. Patrons at patreon.com/MVP-vids also pick one. We got 2 today, Dave. Well, actually, I'll surprise you.
Oh.
We've got a wet boy.
Oh.
And then I have a dry dude.
Oh.
I'm going to the well. I'm going dry dude. And I even told Soapy beforehand.
Did your dry dude do this?
I am being an edgelord today, Dave. So I'll let you go first. Who's your wet boy for October 9th, 2020?
So my wet boy today, obviously coming off that Bears primetime victory on Thursday night, you got to go with Kyle Fuller. The man put a licking. He put a licking in. Oh,
it's not Anthony Davis. There it is.
I mean, I would have just done like
the stat sheet. Just ignore the stat sheet, Dave. Like for defensive stats,
I would have just put a picture of the hit where he collided and just absolutely rushed that poor wide receiver. Yeah, I mean it was a textbook hit. Pissed about the flag. Glad they picked it up. Glad they examined the play and realized yes, it's Bears football. Glad we won the game because of it. Like Kyle Fuller, game-winning fucking hit there. And I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better. Yeah, he eats a lot of penalties this year. Not been his best year, but hell of a fucking play. Obviously, I could have gone a different direction. Could have given it to Mr. Khalil Mack, who lived in the backfield, and then Aaron Rodgers had the whole fucking game, which was great.
Tom Brady's head.
Yep, that one. Totally like that one.
Aaron Rodgers is head. Dave's like, Rodgers, I'm coming for you.
In my head right now. That's the problem. Because I'm going, we're 4-1, man.
He's living rent right now, right? He's living rent free, Dave.
But yeah, no. I mean, just putting the goat on his butt, and I don't know if you saw that clip where he judo tossed a lineman down.
I did. I was going crazy on Twitter too. All of Bears Twitter was like, Mac, get the fuck off me.
Yeah, how do you sack a quarterback and a lineman in one play? So yeah, shout out to the Bears. Shout out to those 2 boys. I know that like I'm curious to see what the fans picked, but yeah.
So my dry dude, Dave.
Okay.
It's Tom Brady. It's got to be Tom Brady. The ravine is here, Dave. Like, how could the GOAT forget? Like, I'll just say this. I'll say this.
You'll say this.
That is like Michael Jordan, the GOAT, having a J.R. Smith like play in the fight, like J.R. Smith forgetting like how much time's on the clock. That is like Michael Jordan doing, or even LeBron James doing that. Tom Brady fourth down, and like Tom, like even oh fuck,
the funniest part.
It was Portnoy from Barstool. He tweeted, he goes, picture of the four, and he goes, "What has Tampa Bay done to my Tom Brady? What have they done to him? I want my old Tom Brady back."
I love the announcers are so confused. Like, Tom's not leaving the field. He's staying out there. And they're like, wait, he's holding up the number 4. Does he not know that they it's a turnover on downs, Tom? They spiked the ball. You know what? Even the announcers are perplexed. Like,
things you didn't expect to see. Show me potato salad. That's basically this moment of a holy shit.
I mean, that was a pretty big mental lapse right there.
Maybe it's because Khalil Mack was living in Tom Brady's head rent-free last night.
I mean, he did throw a tablet on the bench because he was so unhappy with what he was seeing.
Yeah.
Love that.
Hey, you know what I take away from this though, Dave, is you know what? I don't feel sorry for their next. I was gonna say I feel sorry for their next opponent because they're gonna get Tom Brady at his most pissed off. But Dave, next Sunday we're just gonna see a banger of a matchup because you want to know who they're playing next week?
Who dat?
Aaron Rodgers off a bye. It's in Tampa, but Aaron Rodgers off a bye.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, the Bucks could be 3-3.
Having the time of his life, I bet.
The ravine is here. Oh man, you know what? I didn't even think about that. I gotta see if they talked about it.
They had to.
I gotta see a clip of Max Kellerman today, and he probably looked so fucking smug.
I guarantee it.
With Stephen A. Holy shit. But Dave, go ahead.
No. I mean, after that one, let's see what the fans brought to us.
I was gonna say there was no vote today.
Can we? I'll give them the vote then.
Go ahead.
The answer was
Khalil Mack.
Could go Khalil Mack. I was gonna say Jimmy Graham.
Okay, Jimmy Graham too.
Jimmy Graham with a one-handed snag in the end zone, turning back the clock, looking like Jimmy Graham of old, back on his days with the Saints. Like this man on this year
before he slept with Drew Brees' wife.
Yeah, before he slept with Drew Brees' wife, when he got targeted.
Which is a joke for all new viewers out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's allegedly. Allegedly.
Dave's like, something had to happen. He lost me a fantasy season.
Something did happen. But, no, I was saying is, this season on the Bears, he's already got more touchdowns than he had in his time with the Packers. Like, he's back as a red zone target, and Nick Foles fucking loves
or his time with the Seahawks.
He had some touchdowns on the Seahawks.
Okay.
He was
because he went Saints, Seahawks, Packers, Bears, right?
Yeah, he trailed off pretty quick on the Seahawks, but like he was good early on. But yeah, clearly the Packers didn't love him. We fucking love tight ends here.
Yeah.
So he's getting every red zone opportunity, and he's honestly hit or miss. A-Rob, I wanted to give it to you for being the go-to guy, but you literally handed the opponent an interception. And I swear, I asked it in Discord, I was like, is that the third time this year we've had an interception off of Allen Robinson's hands? Like, this just feels commonplace now. It's at least the second.
Yeah.
But I think the third.
And as a wide receiver, you can't be
if
giving
the ball
the
hit your
opponent free
hand,
plays.
what should you do?
Catch it.
God,
I hate that analysis sometimes. Well, it hit his hands. He should catch it.
It's asinine.
The worst, though, is the wide receivers who gator arm it. Gator arming is the worst. Also, I want to throw out, you just reminded me something, Dave. If I didn't go dry dude, I have one honorable mention from the world of college football.
Sure. Because
although I don't like their head coach, and the only reason I don't like their head coach is because he's downplayed the pandemic and cares more about playing a goddamn game of football than he does about like the health of his players. That's just my opinion. But the Houston Cougars won 49-31 over Tulane last night. And Marquez Stevenson, wide receiver, 5 catches, 118 yards, 1 touchdown through the air. And then he also had a 92 or 97 yard kick return for a touchdown as well.
Nice.
So getting 2 touchdowns in the game. He also he had a fumble. He did lose it. That was the only negative thing he did. But 2 touchdowns over 100 yards. Wanted to give him some love, although I'm like, you know what? I got to go with Tom Brady. I gotta rib the GOAT when I can, Dave. This is not going to come up and be a option to do week after week. But let's go ahead and end the show like we always like to do here on Football Friday. And that is going to be our NFL Week 5 picks. Dave, I promise for next week I will have a record for you.
Sure you will.
I will.
By the way,
I promise.
By the way, Thursday night calls.
Yes.
Dave 1, Ricky 0.
Yeah, I picked the Bucks. I'll
also
say.
Set. But you were also right in the fact that you're like,
low scoring.
Mike Evans is starting, Mike Evans is scoring.
Yeah.
The man can't run. He has no ability to run. But when the red zone comes up and he's like, I'll just be in the end zone. You know where I'm at. Like,
I'm here in the corner, Tom.
Ricky, but that man is a fucking magnet.
Dude, I was so happy he got that touchdown because otherwise it was going to be like, shit, I didn't get the points I wanted out of Mike Evans
didn't even
this
get
week.
A snap because not healthy.
Well, hey, it's Rojo. Like, once Fournette's back, he'll be running it. Otherwise, they've got Rojo. Like,
well, he dressed. That was the whole thing. I remember that coming. I was like, "Ooh, do I pull the trigger on him?" No.
Good thing you didn't, Dave, because you would have been an unhappy camper.
I would have been pissed at you.
Let's go through our picks, though. The first game we're looking at is, to me, it's not the game of the week. It's an interesting game of, can Carolina get a win over the in-division Falcons? Like, the Falcons are a team, they're 0-5. They're bad. Yeah. Or they're 0-4. If they go to 0-5, they're bad. Dan Quinn, then I think after 0-5, the Dan Quinn firing questions, have your way with it. After week 1 and 2, I was like, let's pump the brakes.
They've already started.
But that fucking fire under the seat is just getting hot. Panthers, though, under Matt Rule can go 3-2. I actually think I favor the Panthers in this one, even though Vegas has it as a Falcons 1-point win.
I gotta check something right now.
Okay.
And that is Julio Jones' health.
Questionable.
He's questionable.
He's listed at the ESPN as Julio is questionable. The safety Hawkins is out for Atlanta, and then Eli Apple for the Panthers.
Kelvin Ridley, Keanu O'Neal, and Ricardo Allen are all good to go Sunday. Gage will be good, hopefully. Julio didn't practice at all this week, though.
Yeah, like I ain't starting him in my league, in our ESPN league, Dave. That's how I'm looking at it.
The real concern is without Julio and with Ridley with a thigh and a knee issue already, like, it does not bode well.
Yeah.
But the Panther, I've never bought in on the Panthers yet.
I have. I know you have. Second week I'm picking them, Dave. I picked them last week. I'm picking them this week. This is going to be, I'll just jump to the gun. My score will be more on the side of, 31-24 Panthers.
I got no idea what the score will be to this game. But I will take I really want to say Panthers, but I don't want to agree with you.
You're like, I can't give the Falcons their first win.
I can't. Dan Quinn deserves to be fired. I'll take the Panthers.
Okay. Yeah, that was one where I'm like, Dave, you gonna give the Falcons their first win? You gonna do it?
No.
I just like, can the Falcons win?
Be fired.
Yes. Will they win? Probably not. I think Teddy Bridgewater, like I said in fantasy, is going to have a big game, have a good game for them. Then, Dave, a game that I think the winner is clear. Vegas has them as an 11.5-point favorites. The favorited Chiefs, 4-0, hosting the visiting Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Chiefs are going to win this game, but 11.5 is a hell of a line.
That's big.
That is a hell of a line. But yeah, the Chiefs win this game. I give no betting advice on this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one I'm going to say... fuck it. I'm going to say take the... God, how would I even say this because I'm not a bettor? Chiefs are going to win, but they're going to win by less than 11. So what, would you take Raiders in the points?
The Raiders plus 11.
Raiders plus 11. Because I think it's going to be around the score of like 30-24. Like similar score as the Panthers-Falcons, where it's probably going to be an 8-7, maybe even a 6 point lead, because how I see it going down is Patrick Mahomes in this offense gets going early. They jump out to a lead. Derek Carr throw, because, we're down. He's going to get some touchdowns. They're not going to lose by more than 12.
Does that Ravens-Chiefs thing make any questions in your head, or was it just they had the right offense to stunt Russell Wilson?
You mean Lamar Jackson?
That one. Why can't I talk today?
Because you got Russell on the mind, Dave. He's your MVP.
Every quarterback name wrong.
I mean, with me, it's just like that was one where the defense, like the Chiefs' defense, is going to do enough. Like, I don't think that the Raiders, if they cover here, the reason why they're covering is they're getting trash time touchdowns, and that's what I think will happen. Like, Chiefs come out early, they get a big enough lead, and then the Raiders score enough in trash time to at least cover to where they're not losing by 12 points. Yet again, though, I am not a betting man. I just like giving my opinion about things.
I love it.
Dave, then the game that may not happen, but we're going to talk about it anyways. Cardinals-Jets. Jets are 0-4. Had the way that Adam Schefter put it was not a false positive, but they think it's a positive test. So as a precaution, everyone was sent away from the facilities. If this game happens, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, next Sunday, whenever you want to put this game on the docket, Cardinals win, right?
How are you not going to take the Cardinals game? I
know
Vegas,
by the way, has no betting for this. They have pulled everything from it. There's just zeros on everything.
There's no doubt in my mind this Cardinals team has disappointed me dramatically.
But the Jets?
But the Jets can't do it. Joe Flacco win his first game?
I guess it's like, ooh, I didn't think about
the
that.
Elite Joe Flacco gain a win on the Jets?
No. I'm going to say 26-23 Cardinals. That's what I
think it's 30-14.
So
no, that's two scores. They're going to...
Oh. Uh-oh. I think that's a me thing. Or is that a Dave thing? Chat, can you guys still hear me? Chat, you there? Is that a me thing? Is that a you thing? Was that a you thing, Dave? You there? You there, big guy?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, it was one of those things where it's like you cut out, like you went, and then I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm going, is that a me or a you? Because story time for a second is my internet today, early in the day before I took, it got to the point, Dave, where I was like, I didn't get enough sleep last night. It was broken sleep where it's sleep for 4 hours, wake up, sleep for 2 hours, wake up. To where it got to the point where I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to lay down. Because it would be it's on for a half hour, then it's off. Then it's on, then it's off. Then it's on, then it's off. So coming into these shows, I was like, let's not hurt here. But yeah, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad we didn't get disconnected from chat. But yeah, both of us Cardinal win. There's no way the Jets win.
I can't think of... No. Nope.
Another easy call, Dave. Steelers-Eagles. Vegas has this as a touchdown game with the Steelers being the favorite. This has got to be you're taking the Steelers to win by more than 7. 7 to me seems like that's a little disrespectful. Let's bump that up to at least 10.5.
9.5. The realistic answer is 9.5. That would be my line for this game.
10-point win.
That the Steelers are just... They can't miss. They're a can't miss team. Now, if they lose this week, I'm an asshole, but they're a can't miss team. They had an early bye because they got fucked by the league and the Titans. But their defense is great. Their offense is great. They move the ball up and down the field. Juju's healthy. We rolling, boys. We rolling.
And let's say it right, Dave. They didn't get fucked by the league. They got fucked by the Titans.
Yeah.
It's not the league's fault that the Titans got
I said both.
But I feel like we throw shame at Roger Goodell in the league so much, so it's this time it's no, it was the players' fault.
I heard that came out. It's not the league's fault. It's not the precautions' fault. It's the players' fault. This is a personnel failure
be safe.
Yeah, like fucking Stephen A. on First Take was like, players need to have a bubble mentality. That is what they need, a bubble mentality. And players don't have that. We saw it in the MLB. We're seeing it in the NFL. I'm going to go, I said 9.5. I'm going to go ahead and go with that. I'm going to go 28-17 to where I almost wanted to go 28-21, but I don't think the Eagles are going to score. Like 17 is a lot.
28-20.
28-20 could work. I'll go 28. I'll go 28-18 then. I'll give them one more point. 18's a weird one. But I just don't think they're going to get into the end zone a lot. Maybe this is a good game for Elliott, the Eagles kicker. But yeah, Steelers are winning this game. Then Dave, Kyle Allen, first start. We talked about him earlier this week when Haskins was benched. Rams at 3-1. Washington at 1-3. Does Kyle Allen get his first win?
No.
Vegas does not think so. Vegas has the Rams as a touchdown favorite.
Yeah, it's like why would you think that the Washington football team would win it?
Maybe it's one of those things where, hey, this team is good. They just had a quarterback that couldn't like run the offense.
I know football is any given Sunday. Any team can beat any other team. That's what makes it so interesting, because every single week you have that game. It's like, well, that shouldn't have happened.
That shouldn't have happened.
And this could absolutely be one of those games because the Washington football team has a good defense and they got guys who can get after the quarterback. But Kyle Allen is not a game changer in my mind. What I watched him do down there last year in Carolina, not the most impressive quarterback in the world. So I'm going to go the other. I'm going to take the Rams. They're four-headed giant of a running backfield. They just seem to win the game. I don't look. Donald, defense, solved. Done. Yeah. No issues here. So, yeah, I'm taking the Rams.
I'm going 35-28. No, 27. 35-27 Rams. And the reason why I'm doing that is 2 words, Dave. Well, 3 words. Aaron fucking Donald. Like, Kyle Allen, you're getting your first start. You've already got those nerves going.
Alex Smith this game.
And then you've got fucking Aaron Donald on the other side where he's going to juke, spin, push, whatever he has to do to get through the Swiss cheese, which will be the line. No disrespect to the line, more respect to Aaron Donald, to where I think Kyle Allen scores a little bit more than Haskins did. But yeah, that defense is also going to give up 30-plus points in the game. So I'm going to say Rams with the win there, 35-27 is, I think, what I said. Then, Dave, Joe Burrows. He came out this week and said, you know what? Sometimes while I'm watching film, I have to catch myself because I'm watching Lamar Jackson and not the defense that is playing against him, watching that film. We're going to have the classic, I know that Lamar Jackson missed practice due to his knee. Yeah. ESPN has him doesn't even have him on the injury list right now. However, Joe Mixon is listed as questionable. John Ross III is listed as doubtful.
Yeah, he was a DMP last week anyway, so like...
Bengals, Ravens, Dave. What do you think about this one? Burrows versus Lamar.
Well, I want to say that Bengals should be the better team and should come out of this way ahead. But there's something about Joe Burrow. What's the line on this one?
This one is a 12-point line with the Ravens being a 12-point favorite.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I could see that. Ravens are a better team. Burrows will look good.
So it's a revenge game. This is, we got stomped last week. We need to come out and make a statement to the league again, like we did week 1, and put the Texans in their place.
Maybe.
They buried the fucking Texans week 1. We can all agree on that. Like that.
I mean, they buried Washington last week too, 31-17.
Yeah. So will they keep doing that? Will they keep on keeping on? Yes, I'll take the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll go 35-21 is what I'll do, where I think that Joe Burrow and this Bengal offense will do better than the Texans, better than Washington slightly. But, yeah, this Ravens team is going to win. Their defense is good. Even getting 21 points against this Ravens team is going to feel like a win for the Bengals. Then we've got an AFC South matchup, Dave. Minshew Mania. Where are my Minshew Maniacs out there? Going up against the Texans. Texans are actually a 5.5-point favorite. Dave, I know that Jacksonville is only 1-3.
Yeah.
And it's only one more win than the Texans. But should Jags Nation be a little slighted that the Texans are the favorite in this one and not the Jaguars?
Yeah. I think I like what the Jags can do in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I know I feel regret from picking Minshew Mania before, but I'm tempted to go back for the mustache again.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go. I don't know. The whole thing is Deshaun Watson unleashed. Is that what we're going to see?
I mean,
what do we expect from that offense?
The last quarterbacks that Jacksonville has played, Joe Burrows, that team only put up 25. Fitzpatrick put up 13 in a 31-13 game. Ryan Tannehill put up 30 on him. That was a 33-30 Thursday night game. And then Phillip Rivers, week 1, put 20 on him.
Right, but Deshaun Watson, no head coach anymore.
Good point. Romeo Crennel is the head coach.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien's
defensive mind. I think Tim Kelly is their offensive coordinator. So Tim Kelly calling the shots, I think, on the offensive side with Bill O'Brien not calling plays.
I'll take fresh look Texans. I'll go fresh look Texans. I think that this is going to be a win one for the Gipper kind of situation, but like the spiteful version of it. They're not winning one for Romeo Crennel. They're winning one to prove that Bill O'Brien is a stooge.
The thing that's also an added thing into this is whoever wins this game is going to snap a losing streak. For the Texans, they haven't won a game this year. For the Jaguars, they haven't won since they beat the Colts in week 1. I am going to side with Jacksonville. I'm going to go 34-31. I think this is a game where both teams put points on the board. Jacksonville plays the division tough. They played the Colts tough week 1. They played the Titans tough week 2. I think they continue that. Robinson gets in the end zone a couple times. Chark gets some touchdowns from Minshew Mania. And the Jaguars just squeak one out. Texans go to 0-5, and they continue their blunder down the NFL schedule. Then, Dave, you mentioned him during our fantasy football talk. His team is a 9-point underdog against the 49ers.
Yep.
Fitzmagic and the Dolphins against the Niners. I'm going Niners in this one. I got to. Got to go Niners. Can't go with the Dolphins. Is that a me again? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's my Discord. Niners and Dolphins. Who you got, Dave?
I'm taking the Niners with Jimmy G starting, Mostert back and healthy-ish. Kittle another week, another healthy, a little bit healthier. Just keep on taking that close towards it. Their team they're on the up and up. It's just they got a lot of injuries. They're still overcoming. But this is a Dolphins team that won't go away. They're potentially going to cover that line. That's I'm feeling like that's probably what's going to. But I like the 49ers to win this.
Same, 31-17 is the score I'm going with. 31-17, Niners getting the win. Then, Dave, our last 2 day games, Colts and Browns. This could be the game of the week for this week. Do the Browns upset the Colts? Both teams are 3-1. Yes, it's in Cleveland. No Nick Chubb, obviously, for the Browns. OBJ, we talked about him early. Who do you like in this one? Phillip Rivers, Baker Mayfield. What are you doing?
This is going to be a wild game.
Even, by the way, is the line for Vegas.
Yeah, it is a game, betting-wise, not touching, obviously. Not touching. But if I had to pick a team, I got to go with the Browns. I think the Colts are a consistent team, but they're consistently just doing enough kind of a situation. It's like they're not really popping off against anyone. They're just playing well.
Yeah.
And they're making sure that their team is just ticking all the right boxes. It's a clean game. That's how they win games is if they keep Rivers mistake free, they're in really good shape. They keep the ball on the ground. They eat a lot of clock. And I think this Browns team, there's just a wild card wackiness about them. They're like, they can punch it in at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
If they get it late in the game and they need to go get a score, they can go get that score. Like that's something that you can't write them off from. So I'm gonna go with the hot hand in the Browns.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on the other side where I'm picking the Colts. I like the Colts to win. Here's the thing I can't decide, Dave. A score where usually I'm giving you like it's this score to this score. This time I'm just giving you how much they win by.
Yep.
Colts by 3. Colts win by 3.
You just do one of these?
That's what it is. No, Colts by 3.
That's a gesture right there.
There's a gesture, but like it's just what I wanted to do. Keep that hand down.
Demonetized now. All this language and gestures.
Well, no. The thing is, we don't get demonetized if we don't have any hard swears in the first 30 seconds of a video, Dave.
Oh well, thank fucking God.
That's one thing where it's like we got demonetized on when we talked about the Clippers with Kawhi and stuff. And it was like limited ads. And I was like, why? We didn't even do anything. And it was like, it's because I dropped one F-bomb in the first 30 seconds.
I was on you.
One F-bomb.
I would have meant me.
Yeah, I said fucking. That was what I dropped. I said like I used it as a, what was I looking at? I used it as a adjective. Yeah.
Truly one of the most diverse words in the English language.
Totally diverse. But yeah, I used it as an adjective. And YouTube didn't like that in the first 30 seconds. So I learned about that rule when it comes to YouTube and monetization. But yeah, I got to go with the Colts in this one. They'll be a 3-point win for me. The last day game, Dave, Giants, Cowboys. I don't know how to pick this one. I truly don't. Tie.
The Cowboys throw about 1 billion yards of offense. The Giants
defense is bad.
I don't care.
Danny Dimes might actually look good. I know the Cowboys are 8.5-point favorites in this one, by the way.
Yeah. This is not close. This is a clear pick the best team.
So this is like when they played Atlanta. Well, Atlanta had a lead on them and they came back.
The game will be on the field. The Cowboys are the better team.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I threw out the T word, but you know what? I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Yeah, don't take the T word. Come on.
Cowboys are. I can't. Like that is so like the odds of someone winning over tying is so much better to where like you're never going to pick the tie. Yeah, I'll go along the lines of like 30 something. So 31 to like 13. Like this should be a blowout for the Cowboys to where the Giants, it's like, yeah, you are who we thought they were. They're bad. Dave, then we've got 4 primetime games the rest of the way. The Sunday night game. God, I hate this game. I hate these games every year. Vikings, Seahawks. Seahawks usually play us very tough. Seahawks are a touchdown favorite. I'm not excited for this one. We'll probably lose it. Russell Wilson is good. Like, here's how the game's going to go. Like, Kirk Cousins and the Vikings usually play up against the Seahawks. But usually there's one thing that happens in the game, and it's usually the refs that get me mad, and then the Seahawks win the game, and then I'm ranting and raving like I am right now. I am going to go with the Seahawks with the win, even though I want to go Vikings.
I love it. I think that you're absolutely right. This is a game where you guys will abuse their secondary. You will get Adam Thielen and Jefferson will each have over 100 yards again this week. It will look good. Dalvin Cook, going to be just fine. He will get plenty of touches in. But your secondary will get fucking decimated.
DK Metcalf better get multiple touchdowns. That's all I'm saying.
DK Metcalf's a monster. I think that Tyler Lockett's going to be great. And now I have to root for Greg Olsen again. So Greg Olsen. Olsen.
You say it like it's a bad thing.
Well, it's just like one of those things where I didn't have him on fantasy. I had him, I dropped him, and now I had to pick him up again because Noah Fant got hurt.
Yeah.
Or is more hurt. So yeah, no, like I think the best team should win here. Clearly it's the Seahawks. My MVP, Russell Wilson, dropping those rainbows. Literally, just throws the ball upwards, and the receivers, they don't catch like this. It just falls in their hands. You know, it just down,
dropping them rainbows. Dave, the 2 Monday night games, one of them might happen. This was also one of those games where no new
bet on this one.
Like no new positives for the Patriots. We'll see what happens if they test tomorrow. Vegas, same thing as the Cardinals Jets. They've got nothing down because like Vegas is like this game might not happen. We're not going to put and take bets for it. Brian Hoyer played okay as the starter for the Patriots. Yes, he was going up against the Chiefs last week. Is this a game against the Broncos where it's like experience should play out, and even though Hoyer is not where Cam Newton is, it's along the lines of, well, Hoyer's more experienced than Rippon on the other side?
Have heard rumors that Hoyer might be on a short leash yet again.
With Jarrett Stidham right behind him.
You put Stidham in the game. He didn't look awful, to be honest.
No, he did 60 yards.
Yeah. Throwing wise looked okay. So I got no problem either way they roll on the Patriots end. Obviously, Gilmore not being there is going to hurt a fuck ton too.
Yeah.
I do like Tim Patrick, apparently wide receiver. Cool for him. Cool story, right?
Dave's like, cool, no names.
The amount of no-name wide receivers this year, am I going crazy, or are there just a lot more of them?
No, they're like Russell Gage came out of nowhere. Tim Patrick came out of nowhere. Darnell Mooney had a decent game last week.
Deontay Johnson early in the year.
Yep. There have been, and I think it's also because
half the guys on the Raiders.
Julio's been injured. Michael Thomas has been injured.
Yeah, Russell Gage.
No one preseason thought it was all Ridley Jones. Gage? Huh? Russell Gage?
Yeah. Russell Gage guy's out, right? And then his backup, when he was out, had another great game.
You say most of the Raiders, but I will say one of the sneaky picks I had that didn't pan out, but I thought it would, was I thought Hunter Renfrow would get earlier targets than he did.
I mean, it's just it feels like this is that kind of year of low key, we're gonna find ourselves some brand new favorite wide receivers to root for. So that would be pretty awesome.
Patriots
at the end of the day,
14-10.
I want to.
It ain't high
Pats should be the better team. I'm gonna go Broncos.
Okay, go with the
Broncos. I'm gonna go underdog on this. I assume Broncos are dogs, right?
Yeah, they. Well, cool. We don't know. Vegas doesn't have.
Oh, right. They're not.
I would think they are, but who knows?
I'll take the Broncos. I think it'll be an interesting game. Mm-hmm. I know fans out. I know they don't have a quarterback. I know they don't have a lot of things. Mm-hmm. But the Patriots should win. Fuck me. I'm going Patriots. No, I'm back on the train.
Dave's like, I'm back on the train.
I was like, wait, just how many people are injured on that team? Shit, hang on. Let me just quick. Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
But Dave, the other Monday night game, we got 2 games left. One Monday, one Tuesday. Monday night game, Saints hosting the Chargers. Saints are a touchdown and a half. I'm going, Dave. This is not picking with my head here.
Oh.
I'm picking with my heart here.
Oh.
Double not so fast. Chargers with the win. I'm going Air Bear on the road against Drew Brees, getting the win.
Legendary win.
Getting the win.
Can pull this off. He dueled it out with the GOAT and looked pretty good.
I'll say 24-21. He gets the win.
But I'm a double not so fast. You're right back. I'm gonna hit that reverse Uno
because Alvin Kamara.
Sorry, yeah, Alvin Kamara is gonna score me about 42 points again. So nice. I'm gonna need to go with the Saints. And that Saints offense just keeps on ticking. Their defense will have some flaws. Mm-hmm. They will let Air Bear get in the end zone a couple times.
Yeah.
But they will hold up just enough. They're timely in their defense when that number crunch down. I got to go with the Saints on this one. The points thing is a question. I don't know if they can cover that, but I like the Saints to win.
Dave, the last game Tuesday, where I know ESPN put out an article of how they're doing fantasy because of this. Because usually Tuesday is the day where you make all your waiver claims, and Wednesday they go through. Yeah. But there's going to be a game on Tuesday, maybe, between the Bills and the Titans. This game should be a game where we're looking at it and we're going, wow, what a matchup. The undefeated Bills, the undefeated Titans. But instead, it's got a COVID cloud over it to where it's like it's mustered by what's been going on. Vegas, yet again, has nothing for this game because it might not even happen. But Dave, if it does happen, who do you got? Because I got the Bills. Got to go with MVP. The third in the MVP race, Josh Allen. My former Viking, Stephon Diggs. I'm glad you're doing well with your new team. And they're going to beat Captain COVID of the NFL, the Titans.
I'm 100% in with you on this one. I love the Buffalo Bills. Their defense breaks like fuck, though. they scare the hell out of me. Josh Allen can throw for about 1 billion yards.
Do they?
Yes, yes, they do. Josh Allen can throw that ball around there. I love, like you said, Stephon Diggs, biggest addition of the offseason, perhaps. I just think that he has all the weapons to make it work. Even Cole Beasley popped off a little bit. A little surprised by Cole Beasley out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, good on them. I think they're going to win this one. I think the Titans fight everybody tough, though. Like, that's the thing. Titans are just that gritty team that just ekes it out. They just it's
like
going to
33 to 30 game
driver and a little bit deeper.
Uh-huh.
So as much as I think the Titans are a great team, it's just with all that COVID shit going on, I can't pick them.
Yeah, I'm going with the Bills to win in that one. But Dave, that is going to do it for our picks. Like I said, I promise. Like, what should we put down betting wager? What should I have to do if I don't have records done by next week? Because let's do that. Let's put something on the line that I have to do. No. I'm going to get it done then. Okay, I'll shave my head, Dave, if I don't have it done. Which then, in that case, I'll do it tonight. I'll just do it tonight. So I'm not going to shave my head.
You just watching tally.
So I will have records for us tonight. I think I'm doing okay. I think last week, it was last week, I think I only got one wrong. I think I got the Thursday night wrong, and then Sunday was all right.
Nice.
When it comes to wins. Dave, I'm sorry, I can't, half the time I can't remember if you agreed or disagreed with me. So I'm like, off the top of my head, I don't know where Dave is. But I think I'm okay.
I felt pretty good a couple weeks. And then one week I know I did not feel good at all.
There was one year I'd pick him with Brandon for college football. And like towards the end of the season, I was so far behind where it's like every game I was like, yep, going on the other side, Brandon. I'm either going to get further behind you or I'm going to catch up to you. I'm just picking the opposite.
At some point, you do have to do that because it's just like you're saving face if you're trying to win.
Yeah. Because if I pick the same, I'm never going to win. But that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys, obviously, for watching. Join the Discord, link down below, or exclamation Discord into Twitch chat to get that link. If you want to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids is how you go ahead and do that. We're on Twitch. You can also throw us a sub there, twitch.tv/MVPvids. And then you can also look at us on YouTube, MVP Sports. Thank you guys for watching. Dave and I will be back for Football Monday then. Well, Football Monday, possible crown champions in the NBA. Because if it doesn't happen tonight, it could happen on Sunday. So we're talking NFL on Monday. We're talking possible winner or a Game 7. Not going to throw that
either way,
out of the water.
Yep.
And I think those will be the biggest things we talk about on Monday. But we'll be back there. As always, have a good day, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.